Hello, my name is Christopher Hand, and as you can see, this is me right here. If you wanted to reach me after this web video, my name is, again, Christopher Hand, extension 5339. I'm Director of Assessment, Evaluation, and Testing for Liberty Public Schools. And I want to welcome you to this video to show you the eDirect system and the practice science test that you could show your students in class, which gives you a little bit of insight into the new map format that's going to be online this spring from the state of Missouri. So to get to the Missouri grade level of assessments practice site, you would have to go to eDirect. And to get there is this actual link, which is mo.drcedirect.com, or if you're in Google, you can Google it by typing in eDirect Missouri, and it would give you this website. Now, once you get to the website here for eDirect, you would go to the bottom, which is the Online Tools Training Software Download. In that area, you will see specific instructions that will let you know to please copy the link below into Google Chrome to access these practice opportunities. Note that Google Chrome is the only supported browser for this public version, so you'll have to use Google Chrome for this. So I am in Google Chrome right now, so I'm going to copy this link and paste it into here. Once you are in using the link into the second section of eDirect, you have a choice. You can either choose interim assessment or summative. For this training, we're going to go into the summative section, and you will click Online Tools Training, and then you would choose either English Language Arts, math, or science. Today we're just going to focus on science because, as you can see, ELA and math are still coming soon. They're not actually open yet. So we're going to click science together, and we're going to choose grade 5 for this training purpose. And as you can see, the audio version is not open yet, so we're just going to choose the standard version. Once the standard version is open, we are going to go through some sections pretty quickly, but first I want to talk about how to actually log into the practice test. You will actually use the username and password that they give you. So right here it's SCI5PRAC, and the password is test4321. Once you're successfully logged in, it will let you know that you are welcome, the test name, and for students this will look similar when they're successfully logged into the science area. So if you're Timmy, it'll say welcome Timmy, and it'll give you the test name and then Timmy's MOSIS ID. You would click continue, and then you would follow the schedule for the training students. So you would click grade 5 science, and now they're loading the test data into the system. The first thing they'll ask you is the general test directions. They'll want you to know if you can clearly see 3 circles, which I can. And I would click next. And the next portion that you're going to find here will cover navigation and all the navigation tools. And as a teacher or administrator, I would definitely go over each one of these pieces of the tools with the students in a whole group setting, and then also let them go through it on their laptops one-to-one. Everything from review and test button to the down arrow to the next arrow to flagging, so on and so forth. There's also tools that will be discussed during this. There's everything from pointers to cross-off, highlighters, sticky notes, magnifiers, line grids, and finally measurement tools, which is actually a ruler that you could use during the testing. There's a helpful hints area as well on how to actually go through the test, pacing yourself, so on and so forth. Test directions for science, they talk about reading directions carefully before beginning the test, so on and so forth. And then finally, how to answer questions. Once you get to the last portion of the directions section, you'll see begin the test in green. That's where you would click on begin the test, and the test begins. All the tools we just talked about are at the top. The question is here and how you would answer it. Obviously, this is a multiple choice question. So I'm going to utilize one tool, which is the cross-off. The length of Earth's year is how many days? Well, 30. Nope. 90, nope. 180, not on this planet. But I'm going to choose, by unclicking, 365. Once I make a choice, I'm going to click Next. As I'm moving along, you can see that below you can pause the test, flag it to come back to, or check on options. When you click on options, you can choose color choices, contrast colors. Flagging it means you flagged it and you can come back to the question. Astronauts on a space shuttle conduct many investigations. Name 2 challenges a scientist must overcome. Well, one could be gravity, but maybe I'm a student, I don't know the other one, so I'm going to flag this and go to next. Here is where you actually take data for this question and fill out a single line graph on a grid. So after the student reads the portion here, you would click to respond, and out pops the window for the grid. Now you could pull and move this over to the side and use the information to fill in onto your grid. So here I know that 1.6 million to 6.8. I know I can put in 10 here, so I will do that right now. And I'm going to fill in the rest here, 5. And over here are the years, 1910 to 1930. Oops. And lets me know that I put too many characters in. 1950, 1970, 1990, good year, and 2010. When I look at the number that they're asking me for to fill in the grid, 1.6 billion, I'm going to use dot here, and I'm going to choose 1.6 billion as the student, 2.2 here, 2.5 for 1950, 3.5 for 1970, 5.3, and finally 6.8. Oops, and I'm goofed up there on this one. So this is how you use the eraser, and you begin again the whole process. So as you can see, I plotted all my points that go along with the population for billions. And once I plotted those, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a line and connect the points together as I'm building my line graph. And that is the construction that I am making as a student. You can do many different things as you go forth to build. There's many different tools here as you go. So I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to click Next. As you can see here, there's also sections for drag and drop. So for example, solid is a sand, a liquid, vinegar, gases is helium. Next, and they ask you to roll a bowling ball down a hill. Click the arrow, put it right there. I'm going to choose going to go down a hill. And then finally, click, drag an X into the correct box in the table. Which of these is a living organism? I'm going to say a snail. I'm probably wrong, but moving on to the next. And it's asking you name one thing a bear needs to survive. I'm going to say water, but I'm not going to fill out all this in the essence of time, because I wanted to show you this part, which is Group A and Group B, where when you go into here, that's asking you for measurements in terms of centimeters. So you go up to the toolbar again and choose Measurement Tools. As you can see, it says a cm here, and you can put the tool up. You can also do other things with the tool. I believe you could turn it, but in this situation you cannot. So you take it and line it up and then put your data right into this area. As you can see with this question though, there is no more next over here, which means you're on your last question. So you can click on Review and End Test after you've answered the question. And what pops up is an area that tells you before you submit to end test, it lets you know that, hey, I flagged a test here. I also have 2 areas. There are blank constructed response questions I have not answered. This, a gray, means I have answered it, which you can use the key below. So I'm going to go back to the flagged one, and it takes me right back to the gravity question. And I'm going to unflag that because I believe I have everything I need for that answer. I'm going to click Next, and it brings you through all of them again on how you've answered them. And finally, I'm going to click Review and End Test, and finally click on End Test. When you successfully end the test, it says please be sure to have answered all the questions again. It gives you another separate time to answer that. In return to review or end test, I'm going to click end test, and finally lets you know that the test is over. And you would exit. So this actually ends the portion of the practice test for the Science Missouri Map Test online. What we know from the state is that grade level assessment timing guidelines and scheduling is as follows. For ELA in grades 3, 4, 6, and 7, there is a computer adaptive test that's an hour and a half long. If you are in grades 5 and 8, the computer adaptive test is an hour and a half, but you also have 2 performance tasks as well. Each of them are about an hour long. For mathematics in grades 3 and 4, we know that you take a computer adaptive test that's an hour and a half long. And in grade 5, you take a computer adaptive test that's an hour and a half long. And again, you have 1 performance task that's an hour long in the area of math. 6 and 7, again, a computer adaptive test, but this is 2 hours long. 8th grade, computer adaptive test, 2 hours long, but also a performance task that's an hour long. And then finally, as we move to science, in grades 5 and 8, there are 3 sessions, because only 5 and 8 take science this year. Session 1 is 45 to 55 minutes long, Session 2 is 20 to 25 minutes long, and Session 3 is 45 to 65 minutes long. As you can see, because of the timing sessions and what we know about the testing online, there's a couple of things that we're looking at right now in order to spread out the test itself. Your principal should be receiving a draft testing schedule for the entire district based upon grade level. So as of right now for the draft, and again I want to say that this is a draft for our district for a testing schedule, grade 3 and the elementary schedule would go the week of April 20th to April 24th to give the test. And as we look further down the schedule that has been created, you have 5th grade May 4th to May 8th, giving the English, mathematics, and science tests. But the reason we were to give it to May 4th to May 8th, maybe to give some extra time because it is upwards of 10 hours of testing for that group in total with 8 different sections. As you move forward, middle level 6th through 8th grade, you have 6th grade, April 20th to April 24th, 7th grade, April 27th to May 1st, and 8th grade, May 4th to May 8th. Again, this is only a draft at this time, so for you to take a look at it and give some feedback to your principal or to me as well, again, at my email is chand@liberty.k12.mo.us. Or you can call my number at 816-736-5229. No, wait a minute. 816-736-5339, excuse me. Anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And have a great day.